Hello everybody. In our last class we did punctuation. Okay, we saw the usage of commas. So today we are going to see other punctuation marks and their usage. Okay, so in our last class we saw about punctuation marks. We saw what are punctuation marks, isn't it? Punctuation means the right use of putting in points or stops in writing. We saw full stop or period, when to use full stop or period, and when to use comma. We saw that we should use commas when we separate each pair of words connected by and or after nominative absolute, as where there are two sentences, and to mark of a noun or phrase in opposition means when we are talking about a person and also we are addressing him with some other words. Yes, and then to mark of words used in addressing people. So whenever we are addressing people by calling their name or by some title, we use comma. And to separate short coordinated clauses of a compound sentence. So compound sentence has clauses, isn't it? Two clauses. So in that case we use commas. Again, to mark of direct quotation, there are various sentences in which we use quotations. Yes, so at that point of time also we use commas to separate the quotation from the sentence. Okay, before certain coordinative conjunctions, so if there are some conjunctions like but and, okay, so in that case also we use commas. So in our today's class we are going to see the usage of other punctuation marks. So let us see the usage of semicolon, how we can use semicolon or where to use semicolon. Okay, a semicolon represents pause of greater importance than that shown by a comma. So whenever there is a comma in a sentence, the pause is little small, but then when there is a semicolon, the pause should be little bigger. Yes, so while reading, if you find semicolon in between any sentence, the pause should be little greater than the commas. Okay, so it is used to separate the clauses of compound sentence when they contain a comma. For example, he was a brave, large hearted man. Okay, so here we have used 2 to 3 sentences. Yes, so we could have made it separate sentences, but then we have used comma to make it as one sentence, and to show the quality of the person we have just used a semicolon here so that people understand that there is a pause here. He was a brave, large hearted man, and we all honored him. So from this sentence we understand why we honored him, because these were the qualities in him. Yes, and the second usage of semicolon is to separate a series of loosely related clauses where the clauses are not that much related to each other. At that point of time also we can use a semicolon to go back to our main sentence. Okay, today we love what tomorrow we hate. Today we seek what tomorrow we shun. Today we desire what tomorrow we fear. So can you see in this sentence all the clauses, they are loosely connected to each other, but then to give it a sense or give it a meaning we have used a semicolon. So if there wasn't any semicolon, this sentence wouldn't have made any meaning even in writing or in reading. Say for example, without semicolon, if I am reading this, today we love what tomorrow we hate, today we seek what tomorrow we shun, today we desire what tomorrow we fear. Are you able to understand it? No, because in after each clause we need to put a semicolon so that people understand, yes, this is the end of a semicolon, and it does has a meaning in it. It is conveying a meaning to us. Yes, today we love what tomorrow we hate. Today we seek what tomorrow we shun. Today we desire what tomorrow we fear. Yes. Next is the usage of colon. Okay. The colon marks a still more complete pause than what expressed by the semicolon. So colons are much more bigger pause than the semicolons. It is used sometimes with a dash after it. Okay, so sometimes you will see that there are some headings, and after the headings they have put colon or a dash to make people understand that we should read read the heading properly, and there is a pause, bigger pause, to make people give people time to understand the sentence. Yes, to introduce quotation as Bacon says. So when some dialogues are given, at that point of time we put a colon here. Reading makes a full man, writing an exact man, and speaking a ready man. Yes. And before enumeration, examples, etc. Okay, so whenever you are providing any examples or illustrations, at that point of time also we use an colon. Okay, the principal parts of a verb in English are the present tense, the past tense, and the past participle. Okay, and then between sentences grammatically independent but closely connected in sense. Okay, so the example is study to acquire a habit of thinking. No study is more important. Okay, so if I make the complete sense of this sentence, then if you are able to think, you study is important, but if you are not able to think, then study doesn't have any value. So study to acquire a habit of thinking. Okay, so you should think before you do, you should think before you talk, you should think before think and understand things. Yes, so no study is more important. If you are not thinking, then you are then studies are not important. Yes, so just to give a sense to this sentence, we had put a colon here. Okay, then usage of question mark. This is the easiest punctuation mark. I think we all know where to use it, isn't it? The question mark is used instead of a full stop after a direct question. So whenever we are asking question to people, yes, and especially if it is a direct question, at the end we put this mark, and that is known as question mark. Okay, have you written your exercise? So this is a direct question. If you pick us, do we not bleed? If you prick us, do we not bleed? If you tickle us, do we not laugh? If you poison us, do we not die? So all these are direct questions, and that is why there is a question mark at the end of the sentence. A question mark is not used after an indirect question. Okay, so if you are asking somebody indirectly something, in that case we are not going to use question mark. For example, can you come to the library with me? Yes, so this is a type of indirect question where we are asking the person, but then we will not put the question mark. Yes, so another type of direct question is Sheila came, what did she say? Yes, so this is also a type of indirect question. Then usage of the exclamation mark. Also we know the usage of exclamation mark when we are excited or when we express our feelings. At that point of time we use exclamation mark. Okay, so exclamation marks are used after interjections and after phrases and sentences expressing sudden emotion or wish, as alas. So if something bad has happened, we say alas. So this alas word, it expresses our feelings, and that is why we have put an exclamation mark here. In the same way, the next one, oh dear. Okay, so here also we will put an exclamation mark. What a terrible fire this is. Okay, so here also we are expressing our emotion. So whenever we are expressing our emotion or feelings, at the end we should put an exclamation mark. Oh, what a fall was there, my countrymen, long live the king. Okay, so here also you can see how these exclamation marks are used after the expression of the feelings or emotions. So there is something to note here. When the interjection O is placed before the nominative address, the exclamation mark, if employed at all, comes after the noun. Okay, so if I say oh Lord, or oh Rahul, oh Ram, so Ram, Lord, Rahul, these all are nouns, isn't it? So as we have used O here, we should have given an exclamation mark after O, but then we are addressing somebody, so the exclamation marks will come just after the noun. Okay, so or it may be placed at the end of the sentence. So if I have a sentence like, oh Ram, you are such a great God, so we can place the exclamation mark at the end, or after oh Ram we can place a exclamation mark. Yes. Then oh Father, these are some examples. Oh Father, I hear the sound of guns. Oh Hamlet, speak no more. Yes. Then usage of inverted commas. Okay, so we know that when we are telling some quotations, or we are saying what the other person said, okay, we are telling the exact words of the other person, at that point of time we put that statement or we put the quotation inside this inverted commas. Okay, so inverted commas are used to enclose the exact words of a speaker. If you say now that ma'am is telling this way that we should use inverted commas when we are using quotation marks, so in that case you can use quotation mark. Ma'am is telling we should use quotation inverted commas when we are writing quotation. Okay, so if you are using the direct words of mine, in that case you have to use inverted commas. Or say for example, your friend came and said, come, we will go to the park and play. So these are the exact words your friend might have said, isn't it? Come, we will go to the park to play. So these must be in inverted commas. These are the words which the speaker told you. Otherwise, if indirectly we are telling that Ram came and he asked me to go to the park and play there. Yes, so we can write the sentence in this way only, this way also. But if we are including the sentence, including the words the speaker said, in that case we have to put all those words inside inverted commas. Okay, so for example, I would rather die, he exclaimed, then join the praises of my country. Okay, so here somebody said, I would rather die. So these are the exact words the speaker said. Okay, he exclaimed, and that is why these words are inside inverted commas. Okay, and then he also said, then join the oppressors of my country. So also these are the words which were told by the speaker, and that is why these are inside the inverted commas. Then Babar is said by Elphinstone to have been, okay, so Elphinstone said something about Babar, and what he said, the most admirable prince that ever reigned in Asia. Yes, so these are the exact words which were told by Elphinstone, and that is why these are inside inverted commas. Okay, so there is something which we should keep in mind here, that is, if a quotation occurs within a quotation, sometimes there are a quotation inside quotation, isn't it? So it is marked by single inverted commas, as you might as well say, added the march here, that I like what I get. Okay, so here these words are told by March here. What he said, you might as well say that. Okay, so these are the words told by March here. Again, here March here is telling somebody else what that person would say. Okay, you might say you might as well say that I like what I get. Yes, is the same thing as I get what I like. Okay, so can you see how the other quotation which is inside the other one quotation, it is there in one single inverted commas. Yes, so whenever we are writing some sentences, we should keep these things in mind. These are some rules which we should keep in mind. Then usage of dash. Okay, dash is used to indicate an abrupt stop or change of thought. Okay, sometimes we say something and then again on the other moment we just change the topic and we talk about something different. So, if you are writing something like that, okay, in that case you have to put dashes to make people understand, yes, there is a change of thought. Okay, for example, I would have done engineering, but why to think of the past? Okay, many a times we think of the past and we become sad, but then we change the thought of ours, isn't it? And we start thinking positive. So here you can see we have used a dash here to make people understand that there is a change of thought. Okay, to resume a scattered subject, as friends, companions, relatives all helped him. Okay, so here we are addressing to everybody, that is friends, companions and relatives. Okay, and we are telling the same thing to everybody, and that is why we have used dash here. Yes, and then usage of hyphen. How we are using hyphen? Okay, hyphen is shorter line than dash, so this is the difference between dash and hyphen. Hyphen is shorter line than dash. Okay, so it is used to connect parts of a compound word. Okay, compound words means when we add two words to make it as one. Okay, so passer by, man of war, jack of all traders, or mother-in-law, father-in-law, sister-in-law, bedroom, all these are compound words. So we connect this by using a hyphen. Yes, it is also used to connect parts of a word divided at the end of a line. Okay, sometimes we write sentences and we just go at the end of the page. So at that point of time you can put a small hyphen and continue writing from the next line. Okay, and then usage of parenthesis. Parenthesis means brackets. Parenthesis or double dashes are used to separate. So in case you are not using parenthesis, you can put double dashes as well. Okay, so double dashes are used to separate from the main part of the sentence. So something you are writing in a sentence and you want to also write something different, in that case you can use parenthesis. Okay, so parenthesis or double dashes are used to separate from the main part of the sentence a phrase or clause which does not grammatically belong to it, as for example, he gained from heaven a friend. So he gained from heaven a friend, but I also want to include a meaning here that it was all he wished. So why he gained a friend from heaven? Because that is what he wished. And but this is not a part of this sentence, but I wanted this to be mentioned here, and that is why I have put it inside a bracket. Yes. And the next one, a remarkable instance of this kind of courage. Call it, if you please, resolute will, is given in the history of Babur. Okay. So here double dashes means this from here till here, this is inside bracket. Okay. So a remarkable instance of this kind of courage is given in the history of Babur. So example of courage is given in the history of Babur, and what extra have been mentioned in this sentence inside the bracket is, call it, if you please, resolute will, means it's a will power. Yes. And then capital letters. We all know we use capital letters when we write somebody's name, that is proper noun, and at the beginning of the sentence, and also to begin each fresh line of poetry. So whenever you are writing any poetry, each fresh line should start with a capital letter. To begin all proper nouns and adjectives derived from them, as for example, Delhi is the proper noun and Delhites is the adjective, which we have got from Delhi. And then Africa is a proper noun, Africans is the adjective. Shakespeare is the proper noun, Shakespearean is the adjective, which we have got from this proper noun. For all nouns and pronouns which indicate the deity means God. Okay, so whenever we are using some words which indicates the deity or Lord, at that point of time it should start with capital letter. Okay, the Lord, he is the God, and sometimes we also use his to indicate that it belongs to God. Yes. To write the pronoun I and interjection O. So whenever we are writing I for ourselves, we always write it as capital letter, and also interjection O is always written in capital letter. Yes, so I hope you understood the usage of punctuation marks. Please go through this video again and again so that your understanding would be clear, and please whenever you are writing, please make proper usage of punctuation marks. Yes, and please do not forget to subscribe, like and share this video. Please share it more and more so that it reaches to the people who really want to learn it. Yes, so thank you for today.